Welcome to The Bench, where we ask WA's politicians to take a breather and tell us a bit about themselves. Hi, I'm Peter Klinger from Canning's Purple, and joining us on the bench today is Zac Kirkup, who in March was elected to State Parliament as a member for Dawesville. I was going to ask you a bit later about what your ambition is in Parliament, other than asking another 1,000 questions in record time.
Yeah.
But might as well tell me now, what are your ambitions? Let's just maybe talk about this term of government. So you've got another 3.5 years.
For this time now, we have to put it in context. Since I was, effectively 7 or 8 years old, this is exactly where I wanted to be my entire life. So I'm very lucky to have been elected at age 30. The average age, I think, of the Legislative Assembly Liberal Party members is about 58. So I'm under nearly half the average age of the Liberal Party members of Parliament. So I'm really lucky to have been elected at the time that I have. And to me, it's making sure I just lay solid foundations to build solid foundations to represent my district and work hard to serve the party. Hopefully in a shadow portfolio position at some point in time, certainly as Parliamentary Secretary to the Leader of the Opposition, but also make sure I first and foremost represent Mandurah as aggressively and as forthrightly as I can in the Legislative Assembly.
Zac, lots been made of your age, and it's at the same time a lot's been made about the lack of fresh blood in Parliament, whether it be in the State Parliament or in Federal Parliament. Labor's probably a bit more progressive than Liberals traditionally. What can you do to sort of spread the word to, again, your contemporaries and encourage them that this is a career worth pursuing and not to be put off by all the negativity or the perceptions such?
It's largely speaking, it's their perception that they get of members of Parliament. So that might be from the media, or it might be from whatever networks that digital media they're getting their news and information from. And it's about how we as parliamentarians treat each other and ourselves. You've currently got a member of Parliament in there who's clearly unqualified, for example, and a member for Darling Range, who's misled largely his district to get elected. Now, we can't allow that to continue to happen, I don't think, and denigrate our occupation, because that doesn't really cast any appeal to anyone to come and join and serve in the Parliament. So to me, it's about making sure we are, act with integrity and accountability and just hard working members of Parliament. And I think the better off that we do and the more that we serve and the better we serve the people of Western Australia, that will bring people in, regardless of their age. Young people are absolutely engaged with the issues of today, more than I think possibly ever before. They will want to get involved in issues, and it might not be party politics, but they'll want to get involved. And we should, as politicians, make sure that we engage with them, and I think what we'll do is we'll create a situation where they'll want to be more involved and hopefully seek to join Parliament at some point in time.
Zac, tell me about the top 4 issues in Dawesville.
Yeah, sure. So easily, it's the first issue is Peel Health Campus. It's a lack of investment in our local hospital. That's for governments, regardless of Liberal or Labor. It's just been a significant problem. Since 1997, that hospital hasn't expanded, and yet since 1997, our population in Mandurah has effectively doubled. That would be probably the most predominant issue. Second would be we've got some issues with a local bridge there called the Estuary Bridge, which is a 3-lane bridge. When you try and leave the island every morning to go off to Perth or Mandurah train station, you've got to merge. It takes people 15 minutes each time to try and cross it. It should just be 2 lanes in and out. That'll cost about $80 million to build a new bridge or thereabouts. That's been a big issue. I would say law and order is probably third on the agenda. That's predominantly ice or methamphetamine use in the community. Not just Dawesville, but certainly Mandurah as a whole has got a problem with that. The police are doing a fantastic job. Crime's down about 10%, but ice addiction and methamphetamine use is a big problem. And fourth is probably the economy and jobs. Regardless of all the sort of spin that you get out there at the moment, the economy is not going as well as is being talked about, and certainly in my district in Mandurah and in Mandurah generally speaking, unemployment and youth unemployment are still big problems. Mandurah for so long has always been an outlier anyway of unemployment. So even when unemployment in Western Australia was at 4.75%, I think Mandurah was at about 8%. So it's always been sort of at the extreme end of things. And so when things are bad in Perth or things are bad in Western Australia, it's going to always be worse in Mandurah. So the economy and jobs are probably the fourth.
What are the greatest development opportunities for your district? And you've sort of touched on it. You've got an ageing population. You've got probably not a huge number of local job opportunities there. So it's more, what can be done, or what would be a solution there?
Well, you're right, Peter. I represent the oldest per capita district in Western Australia. 22% of my electors are aged 70 or above. So it is an ageing population there. But the reality is there's plenty of opportunity for medical support or allied health and health services there. So as that ageing population continues to become more reliant, I suppose, on healthcare, you're going to have a situation where we need more doctors, more surgeons, more specialists, more allied care, more allied health. NDIS is a huge opportunity. So I would say what I'd like to see happen in Mandurah as a whole is that we get a more holistic approach to ensuring we get more health opportunities and health service providers in town, because to me that's where the market opportunities are, but certainly that's where the demands of the community will be as time goes on.
You're a fresh set of eyes in Parliament. What sort of a bit of red tape you'd like to kick into touch?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure it's red tape, but I'd like to see payroll tax removed altogether. It's a regressive tax. It makes no sense. It's to me, it only seeks to smother businesses and oppress them. Outside of that, outside of getting rid of payroll tax, I'd be really keen to look at a focus of mine, certainly as I hopefully have my journey ahead in Parliament, is to see what we can do to help foster more emerging technologies and disruptive ideas in Western Australia. I mean, you've been around for a long time in WA. You've been writing about WA for a long period of time. We're a city and a state of entrepreneurs and people who are self-sufficient and leaders in their own right. Each and every small business operator gets out there and gets at it. There's a lot of ideas that are on the forefront that I wish that we were far more accommodating of. We can't keep saying things like, you look at, I don't know, Uber, for example. We can't continue a situation where Uber isn't even an accepted practice by government at the moment. That we can't continue to move ahead with embracing ideas like autonomous vehicles or artificial intelligence and what that might offer us, or molecular technology, if we're still debating whether or not Uber should exist. I mean, we need to get over these hurdles and look towards the future. 10 years ago, we didn't have iPhones. 10 years ago, there was no Airbnb. In 10 years' time, what does that world look like, and how can Western Australia now position ourselves to make sure we're sort of the place that those companies want to come and start up and start those technologies, because we embrace it. So that should happen at a legislative level, if you ask me.